What's going on, guys? This is Will from Strive, and we've got a really great episode today to talk about feet and barefoot training. When we talk about barefoot training, it's often something that people hear a lot about when it comes to, well, not just basketball, but all different types of sport. But why do we really need barefoot training? What are the benefits of barefoot training? But most importantly, how do I implement it into my workout to make sure that I stay free from injury? And the most important thing is that I can see the benefits on the court. So we're gonna go through all this kind of stuff, very basic theory, but a little bit more practical stuff today. So let's get going. So when we think of the feet, we think of base of support. It's really the only body part, for the most part, that touches the ground. And this is very important because if our foot function is off, that really affects everything up the chain and pretty much the rest of the body. So in the beginning, we have to make sure that foot function is right, that we have enough mobility as well as stability to make sure that we can perform all the functions that we need to on the court and in everyday life at a very high level. But when we think of barefoot training, why do we really need barefoot training? Well, for the most part, basketball players have thick socks, thick-soled shoes, and this really is a disservice to our feet because our feet are very sensitive body parts. As a matter of fact, the foot, at the bottom of the foot, the sole of the foot, has a lot of sensory receptors that give a lot of very valuable messages back to the brain. And when we talk about sensory receptors, we think about something called proprioception. Now this can be a very, very expansive topic, but proprioception for the most part is the body's awareness in space. So just to give you a small example of proprioception, if I were to walk and to take a step, the body needs to know exactly how much force to put into the floor with one leg, for the most part, to keep my body up without falling. Now those are things that we take for granted for the most part because we don't think about how hard we have to push through the floor so that we don't fall down. But the proprioceptors are the ones that allow us to move through everyday life and on the court without having to think about very much. So the first thing we have to think about is proprioception. Now there are 26 bones located in each foot, which literally makes up a quarter of the body's bones, just located in the base of support, which is an amazing thing. The foot at the same time is an extremely complex structure and could take an entire semester to talk about it. But the main thing that I wanted to accomplish today is show you guys how to progressively implement this into your workout. So when looking at the lowest level of movement, walking and jogging on a soft surface is a great place to start. Okay, and once you guys get comfortable with that, then we go into something harder like hardwood, or some people are even okay with concrete. Everyone goes at different speeds. Everyone's sensory receptors have been affected by shoes and socks at a different rate. So do not feel bad if other players or your friends are progressing a little faster than you. The main thing is that you listen to your body and make the right decision. From there, we go into warming up with bare feet. Now our dynamic warm-ups, which we talked about before, feel free to go ahead and try and see if your feet are okay with warming up and doing dynamic stretches with no shoes on. That's a call that you'll have to make, but it's something that we progress into slowly. Now, from warming up, we love to go into balance exercises. We've talked about the core, we've talked about mobility and stability, so we take time out in our warm-up to do barefoot training to work on stability and mobility, as well as different extremities moving in different planes of motion so that our feet get the most out of that time. Then the last part that we're gonna go through is just light jumping exercises. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do this before a game. I actually don't recommend that at all. But if you're during the off season or the preseason, this is a great time to implement barefoot training in order to get stronger and healthier feet. Now, as we're wrapping up here, guys, I hope that you guys understand that barefoot training is a key part of our workout. But the most important thing is, how do we progress it step by step? Everybody has been affected by shoes and socks ever since they were younger. Everybody's sensory receptors have been affected differently. The main thing is that you listen to your body and that you do whatever you're comfortable with. Again, we do this slowly but surely. We implement it into our workout, we implement it into our everyday life, so we have the strongest feet to stay away from injury and increase our performance on the court.